The gentlemen and ladies of the press, my name is Suleiman Dauda Sukukum. I am the Secretary General of the Conference of Autochthonous Ethnic Nationalities Communities Development Association, with the acronym Conaecda. Conaecda is a forum of over 400 ethnic nationalities found in central and northern Nigeria. We bring together various indigenous ethnic nationalities of the Middle Belt and northern Nigeria, where we meet, discuss issues affecting us, and find ways of addressing them. Today, we are, with pains, hosting this conference because of the plight of many of our communities. Some of those communities have held individual press conferences to highlight the issues affecting them. The reason for this press conference is, first of all, to highlight the situation, the security and humanitarian situation in these communities, to also highlight the particular plight of women and children, not only in these communities, but in many communities that have been affected and ravaged by conflicts, attacks, terrorism, crimes, kidnapping, and other issues. To also inform the world of certain positions that have been taken by our communities, and to also give voice to victims of the various crises and attacks that is taking place in many of these communities. From the security reports, from the community reports we have received so far, in many of these communities, there are people in the millions and some in thousands that are currently refugees. The Tiv community alone currently have over 1.5 million people in IDP camps that are not being taken care of. The Atiab community have people also in the thousands that are currently in IDP camps, with many villages that have been totally destroyed. The Irigo community has consistently been under attack for several weeks now, with many of their villages totally destroyed. So far, we have more than 400 houses that have been destroyed and the people rendered homeless. Women and children homeless. And we are really disturbed with the case of the Irigwe, because the Irigwe are the host to the Armored Division here in Plateau State. That such carnage can take place without the army doing something about it is a serious matter of concern, indicating that our security forces are not only failing in protecting Nigerians, but even the host communities in their immediate area of residence. The attacker have reported also that having 13 of their villages that have been totally destroyed and their people sent away, those 13 villages constitute the entire number of attacker villages in Plateau State. So right now, there is no standing attacker village in Plateau State. After chasing these villagers away, and all attempts to get them to go back has been resisted, right now, information available to us indicates that Fulani herders that have relocated from other places have occupied these villages, occupied these lands, and are already constructing houses in those villages. From the Zulu Emirate, they have been under serious attacks. The Zulu people are warriors, with people probably based on available data and the report they gave, more than 40% of the Zulu people are linked to security services. They're either former airmen, former naval officers, former army officers, police, and other security personnel. But right now, their communities are being ravaged, and their right to protect themselves is being hampered because they are considered to be, I don't know what. In concerning the plight of women in these communities, it is unfortunate that Nigeria is quiet, Nigerians are silent, the government is pretending that nothing is happening to the future of this country. Reports that are reaching us from the Tiv community indicate that right now, people have turned many of the refugees to harlots, picking them for sex trade, moving them to Lagos and other cities where they are just looking for a means of survival. Reports from Zuru Emirate, in one instance, we had a hospital where over 200 of the people on the hospital bed were all women who were raped. In one instance, a woman was raped, and after raping her, they put in 8 battery cells, dry battery cells, into her private part. Today, it is considered by the bandits that any woman that is actually kidnapped is an instrument for use for sexual abuse. The dignity of our women needs to be protected. Many of our children cannot go to schools. Right now we have millions of children that are not able to go to school. And the government is pretending that nothing is happening about that. The serious issue is that we are having reports, letters are being written, threat letters with dates being written to schools that they are going to come and kidnap the children in the school. In Kaduna State right now, many of the schools are not able to resume because the kidnappers are a threat. That's where there is even hope that the schools are standing. In Benue State, many of these schools have been destroyed. The children cannot go to school. The same thing involves the orphanages in Irigwe land, where children that were orphans had the orphanage destroyed completely. Trauma upon trauma. We want the world to understand that we do recognize that there are 4 types of security threats facing our communities. One is that applies to the use of agricultural and forest lands. Our communities are richly endured and blessed by God to be dwelling on land, fertile land, and forest lands. These lands belong to us. They belonged to us before Nigeria was created. They still belong to us. They will continue to belong to us whether Nigeria exists or not. But the question is that no one has the right to trespass on these lands and claim that he has a right of freedom of movement. But this land has become a cause of serious conflict between our people who are largely farmers, and they also keep livestock, and people who consider themselves to be keepers of livestock. Another major problem that we face are criminal activities. And of course, these criminal activities are not limited to one ethnic group. But the nation is facing a serious form of criminal activity that is largely controlled by one single ethnic group. The level of kidnapping and banditry being carried out by the Fulani. We are also facing serious issue with terrorists. Whether they are called terrorists or not, whether the government designated them or terrorists or not, we know that they are nothing but terrorists. The third group of people are people who are carrying out genocides and occupying our land. We know that if they are not colluding, there is no way that after chasing our communities, the Fulani will be the ones to occupy it. So it's very obvious that the Fulani have an agenda in terms of occupying our lands. We have no apology to anyone by stating that many of our communities, the Birom, have over 54 villages that have been ransacked, and many of those villages are currently occupied by no other group but the Fulani. We have mentioned the case of the attacker, and the same thing applies in many places. We do know that there are many other actors who, for economic reasons, may be engaged in this. Our position. What is going on in our country today is a serious crisis that requires every Nigerian to put his hand, to join hands, to come together to resolve. We have made every attempt to draw the attention of the international community and to the government to the fact that what the government needs to do is to provide leadership in addressing this conflict. This is not a problem that should be left to the government alone. We all need to work together to resolve these issues. Therefore, as stakeholders, we have taken some major decisions on things that we need to do. One, we have designated a program, the community-based early warning and early response system. It will involve everybody in the communities. It will involve the security agencies, government security agencies, civil security agencies, community-based security agencies, and the international early warning and early response system of the UN, ECOWAS, and the United Nations. We will work together with them to make sure that information we get is passed across to the right quarters, hoping that the right action will be taken. Two, we plead with the international community to come to the help of our people. There is the need to help these women to get back on their feet. There is the need to protect the rights of our children. There is the need to rebuild these communities and get them back. Number three, from today, the 12th of August 2021, based on resolutions and information agreed by our communities, we will protect our property. By implication, we are going to begin to fence our lands and our forests. And anybody that trespasses that land, we are going to take legal action against the person. Conaecda Secretariat is going to provide free legal services for anybody whose land is trespassed on. Anyone that trespasses on anybody's land should be sure to face legal action for criminal trespassing. You can't come to our land, eat up our crops, and claim you are in conflict. We hope that those who are defending, those who are encroaching on private property and public property will willingly open the gates of their homes, the gates of their offices, and allow these people to encroach and trespass on. From now henceforth, our communities will not allow this trespassing to continue. We have also taken the decision that henceforth, we are going to plant protective plants. As we fence our lands, we plant protective plants. So if you eat a plant and your cow die, and I'm not talking to the Fulani alone, I'm talking to everyone who has animals and allows them to roam free. You should know that your animals are trespassing. We are taking this decision in line with the provisions of the United Nations Declaration on the Rights of Indigenous People, the United Nations Declaration on Human Rights, the African Union Declaration on the Rights on Human and People's Rights, the Nigerian Constitution that guarantee our right to private property, the law of the land that guarantees our rights, and the penal laws that provide for trespass. So this is not just a statement, a political statement. We are using the law, and we're using international conventions, and we're going to act on it. We want to thank everyone, those who have shown sympathy with our communities. The need is there. The need is enormous. But we cannot allow this crisis, we cannot allow this attack, we cannot allow these conflicts to continue. We hope that people in government, who are our brothers and sisters, from the federal government, the state government, the local government, the security agencies, will cooperate with these community leaders and all other community leaders in addressing these issues and bringing it to an end. Thank you, and God bless.